Oh, okay. I guess I started. I was expecting this crazy thing to play the intro video and it didn't. Technical problems. Here we go. Ooh, that looked fancy. So, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, let's get to a little business here. I'm going to play the disclaimer. This is always fun. Enjoy this. Now, for the serious part, and this is especially important given the topics we are going to discuss tonight, including anything related to High Tide LLC or Mo High Tide or cannabis in general. Do not believe a single word I say, or anything my co-hosts say. Do not believe anything my guests say, without doing your own homework and consulting with qualified professionals. Seriously, we are here to entertain, provoke thought, and to share our perspectives. We are not offering medical, legal, or financial advice. The world of cannabis, particularly in Missouri, is very complex, with evolving laws and personal considerations that can vary. The internet is vast, libraries exist, and critical thinking along with checking local regulations is your best friend. So, listen, enjoy, but always do your own research and consult with experts when making important decisions. Do not take my advice. I am only slightly informed. I don't know if anybody noticed, but in that video, I'm wearing an exact same shirt as I'm wearing right now, just a different color. I love these shirts. Okay, I think it's time to bring our guest on now, Samantha Porter. She's been on the show several times, but never her starring as the guest. She's been on several times, like on different panels and as a co-host and different things. Let's bring her on now. Samantha, hey, how you doing?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, sure. I'm always glad to have you on. You're great to be on the show. I enjoy having you on. You're always relevant and topically relevant to my show, Cannabis in Missouri. Yay. So how's your day been?
Been busy, and then, I sound like the Grinch because of the allergy season kicking off again.
Oh, yeah. Did you see what happened to me? How's my
Yeah,
face look without the glasses? Not too bad?
definitely better than what I saw earlier, but, it'll get there.
Yeah. My wife wanted me to wear sunglasses on the show to cover up my face. Is that better, do you think, or?
Well, it's only a little douchebaggy, but
Okay, all right. I got some different glasses. How about these?
it's giving Tron and about 2050.
Okay. All right. Where's my last pair? Oh, I think my wife picked up the other pair and moved them. I don't see them. Oh, okay, all right. How about this hat? I could wear this hat. Cover everything up.
Interesting.
No.
Maybe if it was a little bigger and it could go over the headphones, I could see it, but
Right. Okay.
She tried. That's what matters.
What's that? I'm sorry, baby. What? Yeah, we're started. You want to say hi? Idol's here.
Hi.
She's in her bathrobe. She does not want to be on camera right now.
Understandably.
So, like I said, thanks so much for being here. I'm going to throw up my banner here. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me, they can sure do it by getting in touch with, please like and subscribe if you're not doing that already. mohightight@gmail.com. My phone number, 573-818-9985. David Huckins on LinkedIn and Facebook. Look for my Facebook page, High and Tight LLC. And I'm 420 High Tide on Instagram. Check me out there. And Samantha, I'll let you do this part. This is you.
Yeah, I do cannabis real estate. I work in more than just the commercial sector. Most of my people work in the industry of cannabis, but are not business owners whatsoever. They are regular budtenders, cultivators, manufacturers that get paid like cultivators, manufacturers, and budtenders. So I primarily working in lower budgets. So don't ever think that you are too small of a person to come work with me, because primarily that's who I love to work with and to help the industry from one small person at a time. But I am delving into the commercial side as much as I can as well.
Awesome. So You're also a bud tender. Tell people about that.
Yes, I've been in the industry for I think coming close to like 5 years now. Depends on what you count. As a bud tender specifically, I started it from the earth, and I am finishing out my lifetime as a bud tender at KC Cannabis. I've been with them for almost 3 years. Um, I love being there. I love being part of the industry and seeing firsthand what these products look like and how we can talk to patients about them. I started during medical, where it's so important and so fulfilling to help those medical patients that are coming in, and seeing those little like old ladies that were hunched over and barely could walk up to the counter to come talk to me, that they were so in so much pain, but now are coming in. They're like, hi, so good to see you. How was your week? And like, we talk about life. And it's like, it's more of like talking with a friend than a customer patient kind of relationship. And it's awesome. That's one of the reasons I love the industry so much, is you're treated so well, usually between you and your coworkers, and the people that come in, they really appreciate the knowledge as much as possible if you have a medical background,
Do you,
which is, go ahead.
oh, no, no, go ahead. I thought you
Oh,
were
I was
finished. Go
saying,
ahead.
not necessarily that I have a medical background, but herbal medicine, what I like to say is that a previous life, I was an herbal medicine doctor. I'm very into it. I love holistic medicine as much as possible, and that's what got me into this industry.
Do you have any customers that always want to see you when they come in?
Frequently, but sometimes it's for reasons you wouldn't expect. I am an open book as a person. I talk to people about my life. It makes me feel better. Sometimes, life isn't going my way, and I share it to the patient in front of me, and just to fill the conversation, fill the void. And they take it as an opportunity, as like, oh, well, you shared something about your life. Let me share something about mine. And that's how it starts off, as this like little tiny spark of friendship. And yeah, it's an interesting experience. But it's I people come in and want to see me because they want to get an update on my life, and
Hmm.
sometimes they come see me because they know I'm knowledgeable. So it kind of just depends.
Do you ever have customers that bring you in like tips that are not cash, like ever bring you in treats or other stuff?
All the time, yes.
Really? Like what? Like what?
My favorite thing was back at the old store before we moved to our bigger location. We had a lady bring us a gigantic, thick, like 4+ inch pan of mac and cheese.
Oh, wow.
And I was like the only one getting into it. So I ended up taking like most of the pan home, and I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh,
So
no. But
I
it
was
was
just
good,
starting my,
right?
it was
Was it worth it?
so good. It was so worth it. Yes, it was. And my husband was like, are you going to keep eating that until it's gone? And I was like, I don't know yet. I'm just taking it one day at a time. Like my mom, I really shouldn't be eating it. And then, I mean, we get all kinds of gifts from like customers to people who work in the industry that are trying to, swoon and get their products into the store. And they're like, hey, try our products so you can tell your purchasing manager to buy our stuff. So it varies a lot, but my favorites are from customers and just patients that come in, because we will get regular drop offs of snacks. We've had
Mm.
everything from like treats, like cakes, candies, things like that. We had someone who was like, there was this truck of the grocery product that was free because I guess they had too much product, and they brought in like 20 cases of blueberries for us to have.
Oh, wow.
So we
Nice.
all just split across all these blueberries, and then they did it with spinach one time too. We all got spinach. It was so weird, but awesome. I loved it.
The dispensary I go to, I used to bring in Krispy Kreme, like a dozen donuts, until I did that a couple times. And then finally, I asked one of the employees, I was like, hey, did you enjoy those donuts I brought in? They were like, what donuts? The managers took that back in the office. We didn't get any donuts. I was like, you
Aw,
gotta be kidding me. Are you serious?
that's so rude.
I stopped bringing donuts in. I was like, I'm not bringing in donuts for the managers. I'm bringing in donuts for everybody. I was like, I wanted to go around and hand everybody a donut, but I'm sure they can't have a donut at the counter when they're trying to, serve
They don't
customers.
encourage
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, like what kind of weed do you want?
Nom, nom. Let's take a quick look at this. Have you seen this commercial for Dave? If you need more Dave in your life, have you seen that?
The one that we were talking about the other day.
I'm not sure. Let me show you this, and then let me get your thoughts, okay?
Okay.
Is your life feeling empty? Lacking a certain spark? Are you suffering from a critical lack of Dave? You need more Dave in your life, and now you can get it with the Dave experience from the Weedcast. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My life was so boring before Dave, but now I have Dave, and everything is Dave. Thanks, Dave.
That's right. With a sponsorship on the Weedcast, you can get all the Dave you can handle. Dave will talk about your brand. Dave will promote your event. Dave!
But seriously, if you have a brand or a service in the cannabis space and you want to get your message out to our amazing community, I'd love to partner with you. Sponsorship on this show is a direct line to a dedicated audience. That makes me happy every time
That was really
I see
good.
it.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved all the shirts and stuff. I thought that was my favorite part.
Everybody wearing the matching shirts.
Yes. I was like, I know that photo. That's hilarious.
Right, yeah. I knew that some of my dedicated fans would recognize a few of the photos and stuff, so that's cool. Good. I'm glad that resonated with you.
No, that was a good one. I like that one. That was probably my favorite so far that you've made.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm trying to get some sponsorships, and I keep telling people I want a sponsorship, but I'm like, now here's an example of what one could look like. This was kind of a humorous one, but I could do anything, So maybe somebody will see that and it'll resonate with them and they want to give Dave a little bit of love. That'd be great. Okay, let's start getting into it. All right, I got some questions here. And as always, to kick things off, please share what you're comfortable sharing. Oh, yeah. Hey, I forgot to mention, we also have this option. If my face is too hideous, we can just cover it up. I think this is the best option so far. What do you think of this?
It blends in surprisingly well.
You can't hardly tell, right?
Like if you did a quick glimpse, you wouldn't even notice. That's funny.
I didn't notice at first. I was like, wow.
I was wondering if you were going to acknowledge it. I was like, fine. Okay.
Are you more comfortable with my hideous face covered up or not covered up? What do you think?
I mean, I like your face as is. I feel like you could take it off. But...
Okay. Most of what we're talking about, by the way, for people that don't know, is I got stung by a bee right between my eyes 2 days ago, and my face is still a little bit swollen from it. So I wasn't even sure I was going to do the show today, but swelling's gone down mostly, and I think we're good to go. Okay, so to kick things off, Samantha, so now the show's about you instead of all about the Dave. Tell us about what you're comfortable sharing about your first cannabis experience.
My first weed experience. So my husband got me into it. We met when I was 16. So summer of 2016, we started dating. I asked him, had he ever tried anything? And he's like, oh yeah, I smoke weed all the time. Which if you've met my husband, he's quite the nerd. In most contexts, I feel like up until recently, because, he's with me all the time. So he's starting to get some more of my style. But prior to that, he was like SpongeBob nerd. Like, and you would have never he said he smoked all the time. And I said, lies. I don't believe it. And then we went into his garage and smoked weed. And I was like, okay. And I didn't really feel anything the first few times that we had smoked. And then his mom was also down in the basement with us. So like in the garage. And that was just his family culture. Like weed was just always a thing. And so smoking with like his mom when the first week or whatever, I was like, this is not my family household whatsoever. My dad's from Southern Alabama. This would not go well with him. Regardless of the status of medical rec, anything. Also, my brother's an addict, so it's like he would have freaked. So it was quite taboo at the time.
Wait,
and,
is he a recovering addict or is he an addict?
My brother is an addict.
Okay.
He's
All
a
right. Okay.
consistent.
Because it
Yeah.
makes a difference. I mean, on, how we perceive what's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I don't talk to him anymore anyway, so is what it is. But as far as my entire life, it was pick a substance, he did it, and he had a problem. Every single one, including weed, including acid, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But anyway, yeah, I didn't really feel anything for a while. And then like a week or two later, it finally started to hit me. And I was like, oh, that's what this feels like. Because my thought was,
Okay, gotcha.
your thoughts travel far enough away from something that was just off the wall. And I'm like, oh, that's what weed is. Gotcha. So nothing super excited, just the base of my boyfriend's house.
So after that first time, were you totally hooked? Were you a pothead from then on? You're like, oh, I got to get me some more weed. This is fun.
Not really, with my background and history with all kinds of substances and coming from a household that was very strict. No, I was like pretty against it still. I was just like, I'll try anything once, I guess. And then I realized that the more I looked into it, the more I was like, I don't really need to quit doing this. But I did, as I got older, it's been, I always had like a love-hate relationship with it. I'm like, I hate it because it gave me a bunch of anxiety sometimes, which is probably just the supplier. And then, there were times where I felt like I couldn't function without it because I was just such a little pit that I couldn't get out of bed because I was just in such a bad mental way, and it got me out of bed. So it just depended. It was not my favorite whenever we started doing it, but then the anxiety of all of it was really what drove that, I feel like.
Wow. How old were you your first cannabis experience?
16.
16. I think I was 11.
Yeah, I thought that it was like earlier in life whenever I was thinking about it, but now that I'm older and we've talked to all these people about like, when did you first start smoking? And then I hear like 11, I hear like even younger than that. I'm like, wow, okay, never mind. I'm late to the show apparently.
The earliest age that one of my guests has said was 5 years old, and they were a regular smoker at that age.
Wow.
Which I thought to be shocking. But even 11 years old, I wasn't a regular smoker, by any means. At 11, who can afford to buy, enough weed to be a regular smoker, or even
who's buying it?
Right. Yeah. Right.
What
exactly.
dealer's giving an 11-year-old some pot? Like,
right. So I was just smoking it on the occasional with a friend, and then that didn't even last very long. I moved away, and then I didn't know anybody for years, so I didn't smoke for years. I didn't know anybody that smoked or couldn't get any. And I've had long periods in my life when like I was in the military, or I had a job where I was given a urinalysis, or I had a job where just it wasn't smart to be smoking when you're doing it, So there's been long periods in my life when I have or haven't, but I always want to be smoking. If I'm not, I was like, damn, I wish I was smoking. I'd sure enjoy whatever this is, probably a lot more if I was smoking.
Yeah, like the in-between periods of like the employment stuff. I have a funny story. So like I did apply for Geico, and this was a long time ago. I was like 21 or something, 20. And I was in school and stuff. And it was like 3 rounds of interviews, just like excessive amounts of interviews. And I made it to secondary interview, and they had you do like a sales call thing and whatever. But right before the interview, I saw in their like little break room, whatever, congregating lobby area, it has a sign, like a pop-up sign that says, we do hair tests for drug tests. And I was like, I saw that and I was like, I'm fucked. So I purposefully bombed the second interview so I didn't have to come back because I knew I wasn't going to pass. So
I know there's a shampoo that you can do to wash your hair with that can sometimes help you pass that test, but you have to do it in a certain way. Yeah, there's a shampoo, or there used to be. This was years ago. They upgrade their tests and things change all the time. But yeah, there used to be a shampoo, but if you wash your hair and then they shave your arm or some other part of your body and get the hair from, it's not going to do you any good. I've heard of people doing that. Like they wash their hair and then they shave a piece of their beard off, oops,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I could wear a wig. And I was like, they already saw your hair. And I was like, I can't do that now.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably best just to play it on the level with most places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and knowing my luck, I'd get a wig of someone who donated their hair and who was doing coke every day for like that would be my luck. I would get someone who was even worse than me.
Oh my God.
And I just spent hundreds of dollars on a wig.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about real estate here a little bit. When you got into real estate, I bet all your friends at United Real Estate Company were totally shocked by your sudden interest in cannabis real estate.
I don't think anyone was shocked when I brought it up. Well, so, I mean, I came in working in a full-time budtender position. Everyone was talking about, oh, what do you do? Because everyone in our little trainings and stuff, when I first got started in the industry, everyone was asking like, what's your other job? What do you do? And I said budtender, and they all thought I said bartender. And I was like, no, I sell weed. Feel free to come see me. And so about like a year or so after I had the idea, after I bought my house and no one would work with me. And so I came to my broker and I was like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Thoughts? And she was like, no, I 100% support it. This is so cool. I've never thought about doing anything like this before. I actually have some personal investments in some cannabis stuff in Green Valley. And I was like, oh, I probably know which one that is. And she was like, no, I fully support it. Just make sure your marketing is legal and has everything it's supposed to have. But everything else, you're good. I was like, okay. She's like, I don't know how I can help you because it's unknown, but you're welcome to do what you want. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, well, if we need help with anything that you think we can help with, just let us know. I mean, we support you. I'm like, okay. And from then on out, I kind of just been running it the way I thought it should be run. And kind of most of my resources come from outside the real estate industry. Like I'm talking to compliance officers. I'm talking to people who, like HR reps in cannabis companies, because they know and add daily experience some of the things that can happen between the verifying income stuff and as far as what buildings are eligible and zoning and everything like that. So I'm honestly talking to everybody else other than my broker, because especially with anyone who's trying to open something specifically like cannabis based that is illegal federally, it's not like a farm bill thing or something like that.
Right. So that's cool that your coworkers were receptive. But you are in Missouri, that kind of helps smooth things over a little bit. Things are a little bit more normalized there than they are in the state that I live in.
Yes, correct. As far as I've been told, Kansas is going even more so toward the other side. Like they're getting people all day long on possession charges coming over to Kansas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so much so that I've had clients from the dispensary coming in and said, I just got a possession charge. And I was like, oh, really? And then he was like, yeah, at 6 a.m. when I dropped off my girlfriend at State Line to go to her job this morning, the cop pulled me over for something unrelated. However, he knew that he was going to get caught for weed. So he admitted he had probably weed in the car.
Ah,
and I was like,
never tell the cops anything.
I don't know if you should have done that, but
no. I always plead the fifth. Never talk to cops.
Right. Yeah. I don't trust him either. I've never had a good experience with a cop, but yeah, he got a possession charge. And from what I'm hearing, it's getting more prevalent nowadays because they know people are coming over. They know people are bringing it, and it's unintentionally or intentionally. Okay,
let me ask you this related question. As you probably saw recently, I was trying to get a panel together to talk about cannabis vending in Missouri. I don't know if you saw that or not. I was trying to get some people together. It never happened because I didn't get enough participation, but I'm still going to do it eventually. But one thing I've heard about vending, and I don't know if you've heard this or not, is that, and this has never happened at any event I've been to, but I've heard that cops will hang out outside of events and then bust or stop people, and then the smell of weed is enough for them to say, or enough probable cause for them to like maybe search a car or do a DWI or whatever they do. I don't know how they handle that in Missouri, but my understanding was the smell of marijuana was not enough probable cause. But maybe if you're coming from a cannabis event and you smell like weed, maybe that is probable cause. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
As far as I know, if they believe you are driving while intoxicated, I believe the smell technically is enough. However, the thing with that, it's very easy to disprove. So they're kind of encouraging them to say, hey, you better have something else going on other than this, because even their devices, like, you know, they've got even like breathalyzer devices now that you can blow into to see how high you are. And I'm like,
that cannot
that's
work.
Not how that works
That
at all.
Work. No,
at all. And I'm like, my husband can have like 70 milligrams and still be functional, making dinner and all this stuff. And I'm like a 15 and I'm out. Like, it doesn't make it, it's not the same thing. It doesn't work in the same way. And so from what I've heard, unless you're in an illegal state, that they've really backed off the weed stuff. However, them hanging out at cannabis events, waiting to give out tickets because of people giving away cannabis when they're not supposed to, or consumption in a way they're not supposed to, they are waiting to give out tickets. I had that happen to me at an event late December 21, 22, whatever it was. It was at Bradley's higher event space. Check her stuff out.
No.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it was in the winter, so I even had a snowstorm, and I had like 7 cops coming in there, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Wow.
So even with the storm, I had a pretty good turnout, but I ended up closing out the event early because the storm was getting worse, and I had vendors leaving early, and it was just a whole thing. So, but I've had experience with that myself, but in my opinion, it depends on where you're at. Like, Independence is very strict. That's how I figured it out the hard way.
Okay.
I'm sure KC is probably also strict, but I think it probably depends on where you're at. Because if you're doing it on a Friday or Saturday night, they're already looking for drunk drivers. If they happen to catch you and you were consuming and you're driving and they can smell it and that's all they've got, they might still go for trying to give you a ticket for it. But I don't think they're necessarily waiting for you to give you a ticket outside of it. They're waiting for alcohol, because that's a full-blown easy peasy for them. Like they posted recently online that they put up some sort of thing recently with the cops. I forget what town they put it in. It might have been KC. But that night that they set it up, it was one night. They got like one major arrest of like major DUI. But then they had 7 like minor DUIs or something like that, however they phrased it. And so they're like, good for us. And I'm like, sounds like you guys are just attacking alcohol. So to me, it seems like they've given up on weed for the most part, unless they're going to stand there and give out tickets for giving out weed. They don't want you to give it out. And they don't want you to consume in public because they want you to keep it behind closed doors.
Right.
So I think they're trying to.
In Missouri, it's against the law to consume in public.
Correct.
Yeah,
depending on where you're at, they can, like, let's say in West Bottoms, they've got a lot of cannabis events down there very frequently. There was one day I went from, there was one on one side of West Bottoms and one on the other side. So I walked from one end to the other. And that would have been a perfect time to grab me, because I was in a public place technically and I had been consuming. So you could make the argument that I was consuming in public. So like places like that, where it's usually like an empty building or a warehouse or something, and you're going out to the street to go to your car, smoke, whatever, they can technically get you for that. Because I know for me, West Bottoms has always been like, it's a small little lot and a giant parking lot. So it's very easy to say, oh, well, you're smoking in public because you're at the parking lot down the street. It's like, okay, I guess. Yeah, it just depends on what city you're in, I feel like.
I tried to go to a cannabis event down there in the Bottoms one time, and I never figured out where it was. It was in one of those buildings, and I drove around the building like 5 times, and I couldn't figure out.
No.
It wasn't clearly marked, like the building number, or there wasn't a sign outside that said "weed here," or something obvious. So I was like, "Well, I guess we're going home." That was unfortunate.
I had one that they had sent KC Cannabis the invite, and it said going from like 7 to 10. It was about 8:00, and it was, you could bring +1s and stuff too. So I brought my husband, and we were dressed up. We were going to go to dinner afterward, and the event was just not there. Like, you could tell people were there, but no one was actually there for an event. It was weird. It was like a restaurant event space thing, but the restaurant was closed, but you could hear people in the back. And I'm like, what is happening? Did the event close?
Yeah,
I'm so confused.
Strange.
But so that doesn't surprise me, because I feel like that happens quite frequently.
I think I'll go with this question next. I like this one. What is the most common problem or question you hear from a customer at the dispensary that people in the wider industry should probably hear about?
Right now, if you asked me this like 6 months ago, I'd give you a different answer. But right now, the problem is one company owns like 40% of the industry right now. And it's not just KC Cannabis where I work. It's lots of places are struggling to buy inventory that's not affiliated with this company, because they're trying to grow the smaller businesses and level out the playing field in their own way, because they're fearful that one day this company is going to pull some strings and try to take over the entire industry one day. So that's why it's so important to support the small companies as much as you can, inform yourself where your money is going. If you have a question about where something is coming from, who the parent company is, how they're connected, ask your budtender, because if they're using ite, which most dispensaries are, they have it in their computer of what company it is. It's not exactly easy to follow, in, oh my gosh, what is that movie? Pacific Rim. And the guy's got like the cork board. It's like the lines everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's me inside the dispensary. I'm like, they're all connected. And so, like I said, the important thing is to know where your money is going to. I mean, I feel like that's really important across all kinds of industry. I mean, we're talking, if you're going to, let's say this such and such boutique, but they're owned by this company, you're actually supporting big business. You're not supporting a small company, but you don't know that until you ask. So ask the questions every time you buy a product. Who's the parent company? Connect the dots. Who do I like? Is this company related to them? So people should really pay attention to that, and pay attention to the initiatives coming up this month and later coming in the next few months.
I have a dispensary license in the micro business arena, and what you just said that's happening in what we call the comprehensive market. That's what we call in the micro business world. We call what you guys do the comprehensive market.
Okay.
Same thing as you can see it happening in the micro business world. I have a license, but I can't get it started. I don't have the resources, and people are actively positioning themselves to prevent me from being able to get my license going. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in detail on my next call with Ken Cheadle here in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a big problem. There's sabotage across the entire industry. I mean, there's as much drama in this industry and issues and sabotage that can happen in this industry as pharmaceuticals. So, I mean, if you can see how toxic the pharmaceutical industry can be, this one can be just as bad depending on what companies you're talking about. So it doesn't surprise me that you got a lot of pushback in general.
Yeah.
So
same kind of things happening. There's, the people with money are finding a success, and the people that don't have money are not finding success. I'm probably going to fail at this. The way I'm looking at it right now, I'm not making any progress. It looks like I'm not going to get it together in time before this. My time is up to get this together, unfortunately.
Do the licenses expire? How does that work?
Yeah. From the time that you win the lottery, you have 2 years to get your business commenced. And I've had over a year. It's been like a year and 2 months, and basically I've gotten nothing done. In fact, I'm in worse position now than I was when I got the license. So it's not looking good.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
if I hope that we can make that not true, because I'm every single week I'm reaching out to a new person to get more answers and to talk. I've actually reached out to DCFS multiple times, and I literally cannot get a response out of them. So
really?
they're not helpful. But there are other places that have been very helpful, like Regent Bank has been super helpful the last couple weeks.
Really?
Yes,
Are they a cannabis-friendly bank?
They are.
Where are they? Where are they based out of?
Springfield. There's
Okay,
one
I
in
thought
Texas
so.
and one here. Yep.
I thought so. I think back early in my podcast, almost a year ago, I had a guy from Regent Bank on to talk about banking.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm not banking with them because I'm closer to the Kansas City area, so I have a banker here, Bison State Bank.
Yes, I've heard good things about Bison as well.
Yeah, so have I. Let's see. This is great right here. This is relevant to what we were just saying. So, in the real estate challenges, what's the biggest hurdle for cannabis entrepreneurs when they face trying to find a compliant property? What do you think? Zoning, landlords, people that don't have any business experience, but they have a micro business license and they're expecting you to fix all their problems?
They push back from the communities, and the pushback from the landlords is a huge one. Talking to zoning and getting the actual information, trying to find a building
every
that
place
fits
is
all the
different.
requirements. Yes,
every
place is
town and
different.
county is different. Yes.
Yeah, and being closer to KC, I've talked to a lot of these people, but if we're looking at like something more rural, I mean, it can be very difficult. Some places are still in like the ice age when it comes to technology too. So they're like very difficult to get a hold of, or it takes multiple weeks to get a response. And it's like,
Sure.
And they don't want you there. I mean, at the end of the day, they don't want you there.
Yeah.
And it's all because of discrimination at the end of the day. And there's nothing we can do about it other than continue to grow and do it regardless. And one day they're just going to have to accept it, just like every other kind of business. Same thing with tobacco and alcohol. And it'll just become part of a daily life at some point. But until then, we just got to keep pushing, keep fighting the good fight, I guess.
Well, I think one thing that could really help is this. Let's all watch this again.
Is your life feeling empty? Lacking a certain spark? Are you suffering from a critical lack of Dave? You need more Dave in your life, and now you can get it with the Dave experience from the Weedcast. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My life was so boring before Dave, but now I have Dave, and everything is Dave. Thanks, Dave.
That's right. With a sponsorship on the Weedcast, you can get all the Dave you can handle. Dave will talk about your brand. Dave will promote your event. Dave.
But seriously, if you have a brand or a service in the cannabis space and you want to get your message out to our amazing community, I'd love to partner with you. Sponsorship on this show is a direct line to a dedicated audience.
That's right. A direct line to a dedicated audience. There's like 5 people out there, but they're dedicated.
Hey, it's 5 now, but it'll be a bunch more very soon. So
right. That's exactly right.
Keep going. Hey, that's what it was
see.
when I started too. So.
Oh, Deb Nash says she uses Regent Bank as well.
Yes, Deb is my assistant, so she's very helpful and she's very influential in the industry.
Oh, really?
Yes, she helps.
Well, shout out to Deb. Thanks for being here, Deb. We both appreciate your support. And Bipolar Farms and Jen. Also, Dawn. Let's see, Dawn. And who just popped in? Sarah. All of our people, and there may be more people that are watching that are just not chiming in the chat. Thank you so much to all my loyal subscribers, even on a 4:00, which I've never done a live stream at a 4:00 before, and several people have still managed to pop in. I'm feeling the love today. Thank you so much, everybody, for popping in.
Appreciate you doing it early.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Well, I was all booked up, and I wanted to get you in to talk about your activism stuff. We'll get into that here in a minute, before you actually were going to do it at the end of the month, right? So I wanted to get you in on the show. So, I wanted to make sure that you were able to tell your story. Can you tell a horror story of a client trying to secure a property before they came to you, and then tell us what went wrong and how you fixed everything because you were a genius real estate financier?
Okay, so I've had every transaction is a new experience. I will use my friend Molly. She's at Normal. She's also at Greenlight. She's been a client of mine for a while. I just recently did an event with her. She had the idea. She wants a little farmhouse with some land, and she wants, do the little homestead life one day and make it a fixer-upper house and all that. And put her with multiple lenders that I trust. If you haven't spoken with a lender at some point in your life, you'll come to realize that every lender has their own restrictions and their own rules. Some are more flexible on certain things and some aren't. However, everyone's got their pros and cons. There's not one that I absolutely love more than the others because they're all a little different. For her case specifically, she has a little piece of land, which I have up for sale right now, by the way. And that caused her to have some issues getting some assistance for down payment. So we ended up getting her with like 6 different lenders. She ended up going with U.S. Bank, which was not my first pick. However, she was already banking there and they said they were able to make everything work, which was fantastic. So great. I'll work with them. If they say they can do it, awesome. Here's the thing. Banks that are banks and not primarily mortgage lenders do not usually do a very good job when it comes to dealing with the loan and getting it to close and doing paperwork correctly, etc. I had to have the manager of that branch on speed dial for 2 weeks because the loan officers would check out completely and not answer questions, not respond to my emails, or they would respond to something and it wouldn't make sense, or it wouldn't answer all of my questions, or like they had given a quote to Molly about her closing costs. So we were expecting, this much. And she was like, okay, great. I can afford that. It's a little tight, but I can do it. And so I was, working with the seller, got everything set and going. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, by the way, your closing costs are this now.
Yeah.
And so I called the manager again and I said, hey, what is going on right now? Because my client can't do that at this point.
Yeah.
We're already past the point of renegotiating.
My girl has her back. Nice.
I like I said, I had to have him on speed dial for over 2 weeks. And so he was like, let me look at the file real fast. I'll get filled in and then I'll call you right back. Give me 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, click. He calls me. He's like, hey, we waived a bunch of the fees and stuff. So we got it down to, this much only now. And I was like, okay, that's more feasible. Fine. And I ended up waiving one of my fees for her because it was still kind of high and it was very tight for her. So I ended up waiving one of my fees for her to make it more comfortable. And then we get all the way to closing day, no real issues after that point. However, we get to closing day. She signs the docs. I'm with her, give her little goodie bag, and then we go back to her place because, we want to open the door and, get excited. She has a couple things in her car she wants to get into the house. When we're at the house, she gets a call from the lender, and the loan officer says, hey, where's the contract for you selling your piece of land? And Molly's like, what? What do you mean? And she's like, oh yeah, the one that you said you were going to sell in order to get money for the property. And she's like, I never said that. I just said that I might sell it if I needed more money. And she's like, oh, well, I have it set here as part of a condition for the loan.
Oh, no. So
Box, it's closed. The bank owns it now. So
what?
So she's freaking out on me, and I, understandably. And I call her,
Oh my
and we're
God.
talking. And I said, "Give me an hour. I'll figure it out." So I call the manager again, and
You know what
I'm
this
like,
sounds like? I'm going to interrupt for a second because we're
"You're
all
good, go
going
ahead."
through this government shutdown. This sounds like they do every time they do. It doesn't matter if the Republicans or the good Democrats do it. They're always saying it's always the other guys because they snuck in this stuff at the last minute and now we don't agree to the deal. You know, that sounds like the same kind of a thing, right?
Yes. Well, so
Ah.
they had put a condition on the loan, and they never told her at any point that was on there. And
Wow.
so, and we didn't need to sell it. There was no reason to sell it. She was just brainstorming with the lender about how to get more money if she couldn't come up with down payment assistance. And we ended up figuring it out, so it was fine. But then they never took it off. And so I told Molly, I said, "Look, Molly, they own the property at this point. So they either got to give it to you some way or another, or they got to own it by themselves now. And they don't want that. They don't want the house. They want it to be your problem." And so I call the manager and I tell him what's going, and I'm like, "What the?" And I'm wringing his neck, and I'm pissed at this point. And he's like, "Give me an hour and I'll figure it out." I'm like, "Okay, click." And so he calls me back and he's like, "All right, we got it all figured out. I just have to have her sign this one document saying, such and such, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Okay, cool. So you don't need anything else, right?" And he's like, "No, I looked over the whole file. We should be good." And I was like, "Better be. I hope I never talk to you again." And so she signs the doc, sends it back over. And the audacity, a couple months later, they were the worst lender I've ever worked with, U.S. Bank. So for the love of God, if you have your money at U.S. Bank, do not get a mortgage through them. Do not. 2 months later, they put me on their email list for spam emails.
Oh, fun.
From their loan officer that ghosted me from like the first week we started talking.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And so I responded to that email. I said, "You were by far the worst lender I've ever worked with. Do not ever contact me again." And that was a fun experience. But it all worked out. She loves her house. She has an amazing greenhouse in the back. It's a cute little farmhouse. It just needs a little bit of love, and it's a really cute property. It's in KC, which you wouldn't expect for, I think it's a couple acres or something like that, 2-3 acres, whatever it is. And it's in this little tiny like nook of KC that is like kind of off by itself, and they're kind of in between two different areas, so like nobody really bothers them. And I'm like,
nice.
This worked out great. There is someone who has a business next door, and because she has such a big property, they just think they can use her yard as a parking lot. And so she's like, but other than that, she's loving it.
There's always something, it seems like,
You can't love your neighbors. Yeah, it's just most of the time you hate your neighbors.
Let's see. I had a question for you that was perfect follow-up question. Oh, here. Let's try this one. What is your number one piece of advice for a micro business licensee who is just getting their property search right now?
Watch the political climate. The political climate is going to it's already dicey as it is. With the new initiative that will come. If you're planning on getting a property, either leased, purchased, whatever, get it sooner rather than later. Because if the initiative goes into place like we hope, more and more people will be much easier able to open cannabis businesses. At least that's the hope anyway. More people will be diving into the industry as form of their own full-time business. And locations, if you want to be picky about a location, now would be the time. Because here in the next year, it might get much more difficult because we're going to have a flock of people hitting the market. At least assuming this initiative goes through. There's also other reasons too. What you could say about the Trump administration causing some dicey stuff between like finances and stuff like that. I'm speaking with the FDIC on the 30th, so that may also make a difference as far as banking stuff goes. So just watch the political climate. really closely because it could make a huge difference for what's happening right now.
This next question, I'm going to give you the spotlight so we can really focus on your face. Let's talk about your activism. You have an event focused on financing coming up at the end of the month, and you're trying to get a bunch of people together. I'm trying to be there. What is it? Tell everybody about it. What problem are you trying to solve? What's going on?
So, problem is nobody can get financing for these businesses unless you come from money. It's almost impossible to get these businesses set up. I've even spoken with banks previously, and I said, okay, will you advertise online that you're cannabis friendly? What are your financing options for new businesses or someone like such trying to open a business like that? And they were like, oh, well, you've got to have like this percentage down, and we need oh my gosh, I always forget the word. You need property.
Collateral.
Collateral. Thank you. Yes. You need collateral to even get the financing. And I said, what if you don't have collateral? And they're like,
yeah,
no, I guess. I'm like, oh, okay. That's helpful. So you basically have to come from money to open these businesses currently. What I'm trying to fix is you should be able to get financing for whether you're an employee trying to buy a home, a car, or if you're in a business trying to open and get financing to start a new location or do something cannabis related, you should be able to do that. And right now it's virtually impossible. So the reason why is because banks' hands are tied. They are going to get punished by the FDIC if they give out money for cannabis related items. So how can we tackle the problem is address the issue with the banks. So the FDIC is having a meeting at the Federal Reserve Bank in KC. They're having a quarterly meeting that they have around the country to get public feedback about their current policies and positions. And so I have registered to speak out on that day to talk about the problems that are in the cannabis industry and asking for guidance in how to go about these loans and how to let the industry be what it was supposed to be without losing the banking industry as part of it. We're not asking for special treatment. We are just asking for guidance in order to do that. So let banks have the ability to have some kinds of loans that we can qualify for. Because, and I'm going to highlight a lot of these things to the meeting, the private lenders are extremely expensive, and you basically have to come from money in order to even get them, which defeats the purpose in the first place.
Yes. Preach, sister.
Yeah, exactly. And then the employees. It's punishment on the employees. It's punishment for the veterans. It's punishment for people who got the micro businesses. The reason they qualify, they're punishing those people. And it's this kind of style of industry is encouraging big business right now. So if we fix the FDIC problem, it will hopefully all level out. So I'm basically going to on October 30th, going in front of them and pleading the case for please help the veterans, the employees, the labor workers in the industry afford to do anything. Because right now they're barely getting paid above minimum wage, at least in the state of Missouri anyway. It's like $16 to $17 an hour, which is not that much, to be honest.
No, that's barely more than minimum.
Yeah, exactly. And the businesses can't open. So the people who want to open the most, the people who deserve to open the most, can't. And are we all going to want to buy Walmart weed? I don't think so. So it's just going to encourage more of everything if this gets fixed. So I'm hoping to get a bunch of people all wearing green and standing beside me at that meeting and say, here is my case. See all these people wearing green today. These people are here to support the cause and to show you that this is a big problem today. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's early in the morning, but I'd love some extra support. I'll bring coffee.
Nice. Well said. There you go. You're just adorable when you get up on your little pedestal. Oh, hey, Michael LaRue's here, and Zachary Price is here. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's see. I got another question for you. This one, I'm gonna get myself back in this so you don't have to feel like you're the only person talking. Who is this event for, do you think? And what do you hope attendees will take away from it?
The event's primarily for people who work in the industry and people who want to work in the industry. It's for social equity. It's for change for the better. It's for less restrictions on banking, which, I mean, anything federally regulated, in my opinion, is it's a bit of a hassle. So if we just get the FDIC to do what they should and give us some guidance on cannabis, then we no longer have to really worry about as much federalization issues. I mean, this would solve a lot of problems that going federal would do, but going federal would also open up the industry to potentially a whole bunch of problems. It could be really good, but it could also be really bad. And I don't trust the federal government enough to get into my weed. So I just want to be able to bank. I just want to be able to get a loan.
You just got a big shout out here from Zachary Price, who says, "Thanks for helping Missouri cannabis market." And YP, this gal is awesome. Glad I just heard of her. So you got a brand new fan. Yeah, try and join us at the end of the month.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, is this going to be like an indoor thing, or is it going to be people hanging around outside? You're talking for 200 people. That's your goal, is to try and get 200 people to show up. 200.
I don't think I'm going to hit 200 because it's kind of a very passive event, especially during the week, very early in the morning, people are trying to go to work. So, but it will be inside the bank. I will be meeting with people Yes, it'll be inside the bank. I will be meeting with people before the meeting outside the bank. There's a little like winged statue outside, and I'm going to meet people right in front of that and kind of have a little powwow there.
I was thinking about doing a live stream.
Yeah, do that. You'll have to be quiet because other people will be talking, and I obviously won't be talking the entire time. I am not really sure how much time I'm going to be getting. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 15. I don't know. So I've just got things kind of prepped for both.
They might not even let me do any recording inside the bank.
Maybe not, because it is a federal thing. So
right, exactly. So that's why I was asking if there's going to be something going on outside, because that I could record. So I may show up and just see if there's something there to record. You can
always take a few selfies on the inside. Be like,
right, yeah. So you have tell people how they can get involved if they want to show up to support you. Don't you have a link somewhere for people to sign up?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to keep count of how many people are wanting to be there. So on my Linktree, my QR code there to get to it, it's one of the first blanks of register for the event. You don't have to register or anything if you don't want to, but just know that I'll be at the Federal Reserve Bank on October 30th in front of the little statue at about 8:30 in the morning. But if you'd like to register and keep up with it, it will let me give you updates about what we are doing the week of. I will be sending out some text messages or emails, depending on how many I have, and letting you all know what's going on and what the plan is. Because I think I'll also be getting some updates from the FDIC website that let me sign up, probably, to give more details and whatnot. So, yeah.
For this event, are you expecting what's the best possible outcome?
200 people. The reason why is because most of the time when they commence these public meetings quarterly in different cities across the U.S., the most they really get is about 200. So I would love to have an overwhelming majority of the room whenever I'm talking. I mean, a lot of these people that are coming in, I mean, I'm just a little weed girl. I just want to help the weed industry. And I've got all these big feds from like giant banks standing next to me in suits, probably. So I just would love to have an overwhelming majority there that are supporting, the common man, which is the people we should be helping in the first place, not these big bankers.
They don't need the help, right?
Nope, they're good.
Right. So this QR code that's on the screen right now, is that the QR code people need to scan to be able to get your link
Yes.
so that they can go to the event?
Yep.
Awesome.
You're welcome to just send me a message, let me know you're coming, and I'll just kind of make a mental note of it if that's easier for you. But yeah, the link is just so you can kind of put your information in, and it helps me keep track.
Awesome.
So that's my link tree. There's a lot of resources on there, but one of them is about the event.
Cool. Awesome. I wanted to definitely highlight that because I think that's important. How do you feel about rescheduling?
I think it would be beneficial to a degree. I've talked to lenders about this issue before, and they said, a complicated answer, first of all, but because we don't technically know until it happens, because everyone is learning as we go. I mean, that's all the cannabis industry. We've all been learning as we go. It's been changing as we go. There's nothing been consistent about it for longer than 3 months at a time. But from what they've said that even if they deschedulize it, does not mean that the banks are going to follow through on any changes until months and months or even a year later. So, and the only reason they say that is because it's a trickle down effect for a lot of these lenders. And so, like, for instance, I went to go get my financing from a certain bank, one of my favorite lenders, because he's like a good friend of mine. His name is Frank Lowe. I met him at my first dispensary at From the Earth, and we've been friends for years now. But I was trying to give my information to him when I was a budtender trying to buy my house. And all of a sudden, within a couple of months of me reaching out to him, they had put in their policy, and he sent me a screenshot, and it said, if they get their income from something that is federally illegal, then we cannot work with it. And I was like, this was just targeted at me. This is some BS. And this was way after medical had been put into place. So it's kind of one of those things where if it gets deschedulized and I have a client that needs financing or something, then I send them to the lender, and the lender figures it out as they go along, and if they can do it now or if they have to wait longer or whatever's going on. And it's just, there also is bad things that can come with deschedulizing it as well. I think it would open the door, just like federal, it could open the door to pharmaceutical companies getting more involved. However, I don't really know for sure what could happen. I think it'd be great as far as crime and stuff goes. I think that would be awesome. But I think same thing. It could be opening the door to potentially other problems as well. If we solve the banking problem, it solves mostly everything for the most part that people struggle with on a day-to-day basis without changing the industry in a super significant way.
I have a different take, and maybe popular one because I'm a dispensary guy, but I'm not for descheduling it. Or scheduling it. I'm for legalization or nothing. I don't want to see it rescheduled. Stop playing around. What are you doing?
Yeah, it is kind of silly at this point. It's just, there's too many people getting paid by Big Pharma to really do it. I mean, and I'm very excited for the next political leaders that are coming. There's a lot more millennials getting into the political space. And I'm seeing a little bit of a shift regarding that, which is cool. However, I think it's going to take a lot longer for us to really get people that are not willing to be paid by Big Pharma to make it happen. At least definitely not in this administration. Personally, that's just my own opinion. I don't think in this administration it would happen. I don't know what'll happen maybe next administration. I mean, people keep saying, oh, we're going to federalize it as their political front to get more voters, and then it never happens. So I think there's a lot more at play than just it's Big Pharma having too many hands in pockets, I feel like.
Right.
They know they're losing money currently.
I think I got a couple questions here. This is just going to kind of wrap things up for this part of the interview anyway. What has been the most rewarding part of carving out this unique niche for yourself in the Kansas City market?
I love being in this section of the market because it gives me all different kinds of people and all different kinds of clients. Every transaction is a new experience, is what I love to say. And it's very true. I've had weird technicalities of, well, you technically work in HR, and that's technically in Kansas. So you don't have to have a special kind of cannabis like loan or anything. You can just have a normal loan. And we don't figure that out until way later on down the line. And then we get super excited because we can qualify for more and we have more options. And, but I also love challenging in the space. I love like right now I have a smoke shop that I've been trying to open multiple locations for, and I'm negotiating leases right now. And the discrimination against the type of business is absolutely insane. I think
I'm
I've
sure.
spoken with 70 plus agents about this store, and they have all told me they don't like the use, or that there's lots of restrictions, or there's one too close by already. We're not interested. Like, okay. And it's frustrating because, you know, I use my resources to find these locations and I'm like, this one's perfect. Love it. Call them. No. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
And
I've heard so much of that myself.
I've even like schmoozed real estate agents before. I'm like, hey, can I like send you a box of cigars that my guy is going to sell? And maybe we can talk and I can tell you about his business and how successful he is and you know, and do my thing. And they don't even give me the time of day. And I'm like,
Yeah, frustrating.
So it's frustrating, but at the same time, I love breaking the stigma. I love the pushback. It's like, hey, by the way, what you're doing is just kind of discriminatory. And they just come back at me. They're like, we're allowed to not like it. I'm like, okay, whatever you say. But yeah, that.
I like this one. To wrap things up here, what is your ultimate vision for your career and your impact on the Missouri cannabis industry?
I would love to open more dispensaries, more cultivations, and more manufacturings. That would be really cool. I also would love to open different kinds of businesses. Like I've had multiple people reach out to me to open almost like a resort style business where they're growing weed on the resort and it's part of the aesthetic. It's part of the vibe. They've got, you know, like an Airbnb type style stuff where they can stay there and there's games and activities, concerts, venue spaces, like these really interesting businesses that want to open so bad, but we're all in the dark about how to do it. And so for me, I love learning about it and I love accomplishing that goal for that person. And it's more than just setting them up. I mean, I want to follow these businesses on to being successful. I mean, like for you, Dave, like I want to support your podcast and I also want to support your dispensary. Like I want to support you as a person and your career as you grow. Bradley at the Higher Event Space, one of my girls, she's supported me from the beginning and I've supported her from the beginning, and her business is growing to the point that now she's talking about getting a bigger location. And that's so cool and so exciting. And I was talking to her about, she's talking to me about the frustration about the whole thing. And I was like, Bradley, you're at an amazing spot right now. Like you're growing your business to the point that you need more space. That's amazing. And it makes me so excited that I was able to help her do that. Like I provided some silent auction items so she could sell those and there's some fundraising for renovations and stuff like that. Molly with her property, she has a greenhouse there and she's been using it as kind of like a kind of sort of smoke lounge venue almost esque thing. She's still growing that right now. And it's cool to just watch the businesses grow. Like I want to be more involved in all of your guys' businesses. I want to see you guys grow and I want to help as much as I possibly can within reason that I can do. So it's about supporting the industry, not just setting them up.
For sure, one of the big challenges in the industry is, everybody that'll loan money to me is basically a Chad.
Oh yeah, man. I call them.
I'm going to
sleazy car
summarize it
salesmen.
that way. There's always, extra high interest rate, or you have to have all the collateral. They're being a Chad because they can,
It's the green
Well,
tag.
and it's because it's federally illegal, right?
Mhm.
That's why, and because they can, right? Because they're taking a risk to loan me money, so they kind of have to be a Chad to get their money back, I guess,
Mhm.
maybe in the long run.
Well, they
I don't
have
know.
to
That's not a
smooth
problem
you.
for most of for their big clients that probably don't need loans, except for maybe to start up some stuff. But little guys like us, everybody I know in the micro business arena that's found success is people that already had assets. They already had property, they already had businesses, they already had money, they already had a lot of connections or whatever it was they had, assets to get this going. So the little guys like me are not finding a lot of success, unfortunately.
That's why I've been trying to talk to more like financial options and trying to at least like find something that is at least a reasonable rate and a reasonable amount of expectation for like what you have to put up for the loan. I'm like, what if you don't have anything to put up? And they're like, I don't know, kick rocks, I guess. I'm like, that's not the way to go about this, guys. There should be a level of degree to this.
If you would like to support my friend Samantha, please do so. You can, where's that QR code? We've got this QR code here. Scan this QR code and you can get in touch with her, and you can also sign up at the end of the month for her activism thing that she's doing. I'm going to probably be there. I should be there. I'm planning to be there. So support my friend Samantha. And if you would like to, if you like what I'm doing and you'd like to support Dave, I'd love to get a sponsorship from you. If you want to fly your logo during the show or something, here's a fine example of the work that I can do.
Is your life feeling empty? Lacking a certain spark? Are you suffering from a critical lack of Dave? You need more Dave in your life, and now you can get it with the Dave experience from the Weedcast. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My life was so boring before Dave, but now I have Dave, and everything is Dave. Thanks, Dave.
That's right. With a sponsorship on the Weedcast, you can get all the Dave you can handle. Dave will talk about your brand. Dave will promote your event. Dave.
But seriously, if you have a brand or a service in the cannabis space and you want to get your message out to our amazing community, I'd love to partner with you. A sponsorship on this show is a direct line to a dedicated audience.
My wife hates that video.
I love it. That's awesome.
I do too. I think it's totally awesome. I had so much fun making it, writing the script and doing it. It was a lot of fun. I wish I would have had, next time I want to do more video in it, but the pictures and stuff I was just trying to throw something together and it all came together pretty well. I thought it came out pretty well.
I think it was great. I loved it.
It's so cheesy and
Very
stupid.
comedic. Love it.
Right. Dave. Oh, I love it. Yeah. I can't wait to see what I'm going to come up with next. I got some ideas. So, this is the pants optional portion of the show. We don't have to talk about anything serious now. If you had a joke, this would be the great time to share it with the audience. And not that I'm putting it on the spot or anything, but ready, go.
I did not prepare a joke and I'm not funny. So
Ready, go.
nothing. I got nothing. I'm not funny.
Okay,
I'm not funny. I don't. Yeah.
What if I told a joke? Would you laugh at a joke if it was funny? Do you think jokes are funny?
I mean, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, I'll tell you this joke. When I tell this joke, though, usually I don't tell people it's a joke. I tell it like it's a story that happened to me, right? Okay, so like I just arrived at a friend's house or I met some people somewhere. I'm like, man, on the way here, something terrible happened. Oh my gosh, Dave, what is it? I ran over a cat. I hit a cat and it was so sad. I mean, I had to stop and see what was going on. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't just leave it there. Right. So I went and knocked on the nearest person's house to find out if it was a cat. I knocked on the door. Person comes to the door. I'm like, hey, do you have a cat? They're like, no, but the lady across the street has a lot of cats. I was like, oh my God, I just killed somebody's cat. I need to go check this out. Maybe it's her cat, right? So I go over across the street and I knock on the door again. Hey, I heard you have a lot of cats. Unfortunately, I just ran over a cat. And the lady's like, oh no, what did the cat look like? And I went, she's like, no, before you hit it. And I was,
See, that was a good one. I liked that one. That was good. My husband says my humor is terrible, but I think his humor is terrible because that was funny.
I've had people cry and get mad at me because, you know, I don't tell them it's a joke. Like they're emotionally invested. They think there's a dead cat involved, right? And then at the end, they find out it's
an
a joke.
asshole when you go up to the person.
Right?
Amazing.
They think there's a dead cat involved, you know. Of course, seriously, I've made 2 people cry telling that joke because they were sad about the poor cat.
I had to tuck and weave some squirrels earlier. I was running through doing some showings this morning, and there was 2 squirrels. They like met in the middle of the street, like they were having a conversation.
Oh wow!
And I was like, guys, please pick a side. And so I like darted to the right, and then they were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to go?" And I'm like, "Please!" Like every time, I'm like, "Please don't." And I'm a big Toyota Sienna now, so I'm like, "Please do not run in front of me. You're dead if you're in front of me at this point."
For sure, yeah. So this has been a lot of fun.
This is awesome, yeah.
Have you enjoyed your time here?
Yes. I like being on it quite a bit. It's just Tuesdays are hard for me. So
oh, really? Are you normally busy on Tuesdays?
Yeah, it's you know, I work 2 jobs and stuff. So Tuesday's supposed to be like me and my husband's day. So I have to like, hey, can I go do the podcast? And we reschedule our day. But it's our day.
Into your date night?
Yes.
And your husband agreed to that? Oh,
yes.
Well, tell him I said thank you. That's super sweet.
I will.
That was super sweet. Now is a great time if you had like some positive things to say about the Weedcast. You know, I could really use an endorsement right now.
Yes, totally. Dave and his podcast is incredible. He is very involved in the industry and he's very about social equity and trying to open up the micro business space and having it open to all different kinds of people and priorities. He's been very supportive of anything cannabis related and especially in my space and many of my colleagues' space.
So basically, in short, Dave's flipping awesome. And you need more Dave in your life. Dave!
Definitely more Dave in my life. Yes, for sure.
For sure. If you guys wanted to fly like a logo on my show, I mean, $20, you know, if you want to advertise on my show, super cheap, maybe even $5. Maybe, you know what? I'll do it for free. Somebody contact me, please.
Well,
I'll pay you to be a sponsor on my show. What's going on here? How come I don't have any sponsors? I need it.
It'll take some time. I'm about to potentially switch brokers. I'm interviewing with them on Friday. So after that happens, I might send you a new logo to fly around, but we'll see.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Not 100% sure yet. We're meeting up on Friday, but it's a recruiting, trying to recruit me to their team because of my specialty. So I'm like, okay, impress me.
Nice.
Impress me. Otherwise, I'm not moving. I like where I'm at currently. But you know, I would love to be in a space that's more cannabis geared, but there's only like 2 brokers in Missouri that really advertise as such. And one is one guy. And then the other one who doesn't have any agents. And the other one is someone who is a little questionable to be underneath. So I don't know if I'd really go that direction.
Well, I already told you I'd do a sponsorship for you. I needed to have a real sponsor, not just the stupid Dave commercials. That's not a real sponsorship. Yeah. And also, if you are a charitable organization like Normal or Cali Sober or
Jane.
Jane. You know, the minorities for medical marijuana, all those groups. And you have something coming up, you know, I'd love to do a sponsorship for you for free. So contact me.
Well, Dave, I'm a new chairman at Jane, so I will talk to them about that. Yeah, I
Okay,
just
right
got
on.
added as of this week. I am chairman, and my primary job is recruitment. So I will talk to them about that.
Look at this comment we just got. Dave, Dave, Dave! I love it. Nice.
Exactly.
Thanks
It's
for
so
that.
good. I love the last picture with the Dave everywhere. That was my favorite.
Oh, right. I like
Yeah.
the Dave fan and the testimonial. My life was so boring before Dave, but now I have Dave and everything is Dave. Thanks, Dave. So stupid.
I feel like that's going to run through my head rent free pretty frequently.
God, I hope so. That is totally my goal. And if it does, then it's an effective ad, right? And why aren't you advertising on my show? You're crazy if you don't.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right on.
I need just that little clip posted so I can share it.
I will. I'll get that for you.
Okay.
For sure. I'll do that for you. And, thanks so much, all the participants that have been here and have participated in chat or even just watched and not participated in chat. Thanks so much to my viewers. Please like and subscribe. I'm broadcasting to 4 different places this week. Usually it's only to YouTube. So please go to my YouTube if you're watching it somewhere else and subscribe to YouTube. I'm really trying to get my sponsorship up there so that I can start maybe monetizing that, but I got a long way to go and it's really slow. So it's Mo, M-O, High Tide on YouTube. Go there and subscribe. Really appreciate that. I had somebody say that they were maybe interested in doing a fundraiser to try and help me get some money. I don't know about that.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I could help out too. Just depends on when and what we're doing.
I kind of told everybody I want to do a December 18th party, a cancellation party, a year ago when they tried to cancel me.
Yeah.
I'd love to throw another party and invite all the people that canceled me to show up to my party.
Yeah. That would be fun. I support that, and it can just, it's a commemorative party.
Right. Sure. Yeah. So thanks. I got a new follower. Follow me on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks so much, Zach. I appreciate you. So see, if you don't ask, people don't know that you're looking. So it's a closed mouth doesn't get fed. That's why I'm opening my mouth about sponsorships, and please try and support me by doing this. Also, if you could shout out on your social channels, that's the biggest support. Also, tell people to come and watch this show. I'm going to throw up some links to it later so that people can watch the replay. So, and then I'll do some clips and stuff from this. This has been a great show. There's lots of content that we're going to be able to get from this.
Awesome. Yes.
I will let you have the final thoughts. Anything that you want to say?
Well, if you're supportive of the cannabis industry and its growth, its economic issues, its banking issues, or you just want to support your fellow friends and family that work in the industry, there's many issues that can happen in being in this industry, and we need as much support as we can get. So please come with me on October 30th to go be in front of the FDIC and be right next to me by my side saying, hey, we need help, we need guidance. And that would be super helpful for the entire industry. Otherwise than that, keep fighting the good fight. Make sure if there's discriminatory practices, just show that we are not, just a whole bunch of potheads. We are just like anybody else, seeking medicine, having a good time, alcohol replacements, sober replacements. So just be supportive, act the way you would want other people to think potheads act like, and support us as best you can whenever you see an opportunity.
Well said. Very good. All right. You know what? Let's see if I can play some bumper music as we're trying to leave. That'll make it sound more professional. Let's see. Oh, this techno loop. How about this one? We've had a great time.
Yeah.
Tune in about 30 minutes where I'm going to be interviewing Ken Cheadle. We'll have a good time then, too. Take care, everybody.
Bye.